All right, legal experts Mike Davis, Will Scharf join us now. Good to see you guys. Mike, explain in your interpretation here what we saw today. I mean, this was the big day with Cohen on the stand for 7 hours. The prosecutors had him.
Well, it's amazing. We have Will Scharf here, who's one of President Trump's attorneys, and he is illegally gagged by this judge. So he can't talk about the fact that the reason President Trump says this judge is corrupt and conflicted is this judge's adult daughter, Lauren Michon, is raising millions of dollars off of this unprecedented criminal trial over which her father, Judge Juan Merchan, is presiding. If Trump mentions her name or even shares a news story with her name, this judge is promising to put President Trump in jail. You have Stormy Daniels, who came on and testified, a porn star who's changed her story multiple times, came on, and her testimony was a train wreck. And today you had Michael Cohen, a disbarred attorney, a serial perjurer, a convicted felon who's changed his story many times. But guess what? President Trump can't even respond to Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, who are trashing President Trump online, making money doing it. He can't respond. And
I just, and I'll bring it over to Will here for a second, but I mean, I'm looking at what Cohen alleged today, and we hear a lot of allegations about, Trump knew about the money. I mean, we still haven't arrived at whatever the crime is. I mean, hush money, whatever you want to call it, is not a crime. What did you make of Michael Cohen's first day?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it right on the head there, Rob. Hush money is not a crime. Signing an NDA is not a crime. What's been alleged here, technical business records violations from 2016 and 2017. If you actually look through the trial record, there's practically not a single scintilla of evidence that any business records fraud occurred. We're almost at the end of trial, and they haven't even started proving up the case that they claimed they were going to prove. What they've done instead is introduced vast swaths of highly prejudicial but not at all probative evidence in an effort, I believe, to confuse the jury. I've called it a smoke and mirrors campaign before. That's what we're dealing with here. As a former federal prosecutor, I find it deeply offensive that a case like this would both be brought and prosecuted the way it's been prosecuted. This is banana republic stuff. This is not the way criminal cases are supposed to proceed in courtrooms in the United States of America.
Yeah, Mike, and it's amazing that the fact that it's brought in the first place is what I was trying to get to with the monologue, was just to show people that this would never happen to anybody. Nobody would ever bring a case this stupid. But then for them to bring a case this ridiculous that has really it's just nothing to this case. But then to fail when you do bring it, it's just, I mean, it's mind-boggling, Mike.
Yeah, if they would have just let President Trump retire to Mar-a-Lago, we wouldn't be talking about him right now. He'd be golfing in Mar-a-Lago. But they brought this unprecedented lawfare and election interference, and they turned President Trump into Nelson Mandela. They've turned him into a legend. He's not only going to win that primary handily, he's going to win the general election by a landslide. And I dare this corrupt judge, Juan Merchan, to even think about putting President Trump in prison. Because if you want to see President Trump win by 4 or 5 points, go ahead and do that.
Will, final thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just say this. President Trump said the other day that he's willing to go to jail if it's to stand up for and protect the United States Constitution. What we're seeing here is not just an attack on President Trump. It's an attack on the entire American Republic, our constitutional order, law and order. It's an attack on the core principles that make this country great. And I take my hat off to President Trump for his resilience every single day, fighting against this corrupt effort to fundamentally pervert our constitutional republic. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep winning. And he's going to win next November at the ballot box, where elections are supposed to be contested, not in courtrooms.
Yeah. And I think the big takeaway is, when you look at how people feel about these cases at this point, you have a wide enough swath now of people that believe it's political, that it encapsulates people that actually hate Trump, that still will admit that this is political. And that's when you know that they've gone way too far. Mike Davis, Will Scharf, good to see you guys. Thank you.
Great to be with you, Rob.